Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, Dude here, coming in again. Another iteration of Dude After Dark, so this one being a pre-Christmas edition. So obviously, fat guy coming down the chimney, we're probably not going to experience mid-show. So I think we're good in that regard. Let me take a real quick look at my calendar. Yes, next opportunity will be 2 days post-Christmas. So hopefully you guys get all the good sugar plum fairies and other, assorted whatevers and entirely too many times you're listening to Christmas carols. Yipes. I know you guys are probably out doing Christmas shopping and what have you, but if you guys decide to come on by and check me out today, I do appreciate your kind attentions. Good stuff like that there. And let me just fire things up and doing stuff as I need to do. Patriot Fever in the room. Appreciate you coming by. I don't know who that guy was last week that basically told the quote unquote off color joke. But he kind of removed himself with a quickness. I think he actually, either because I silenced him or he decided to delete his comments. I haven't seen him. I don't know what his channel is, but if he comes back, I'm going to try to find out who he is. And I don't appreciate people coming in and doing, obnoxious things like that and pooping all over the show, as it were. I really am not a fan of that kind of just ignorance and expressly disgusting just racially profiled kind of humor. Okay, it's not funny. I'm not into it. Not gonna do it. So don't put it on my place and don't try to poop on my thing because I am not a fan. So let me do some scrolly. I do have some stuff to update. Let's see, scroll. Catch back up to where I was. Oh, that should be good. Yep. Okay. Yeah, Patriot Fever. That's because I basically jumped on it with both feet and stomped him a new mud hole and walked it out dry. So sound guy being sound guy. Well, he had the microphone stashed up in the chimney from, previous iterations of Santa coming by. And let's just say that Santa had a really bad run through with the deliverance guy. I can't do it justice, but I am gonna have to play it. So get grandma out the room and kids behind curtains or something else. But let's just say if you do or don't believe in Santa, he probably got what fur.
This chimney seems to be a little tight on old Santa.
Them pioneers take him off.
What? What did you say, little boy?
Come on, squeal!
Santa does not squeal. Oh. No. Oh, let go of my snowballs. You're being very naughty, young man. You're going to get cold.
Come on, squeal!
I don't squeal. But if you buy me a drink first, perhaps we could do something later.
I guess Santa might have the San Francisco treat every once in a while. Yipes. I didn't know that sound guy could possibly catch that kind of stuff, but possibly Santa is going just a little bit more than a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to San Francisco. Yipes. No. That's just bad juju. Yeah, it's sound guy. What are you doing? Okay, you know those videos that you or the movies that you see where people come up with the sound effects behind the scenes and it's like, they're like stabbing like, various things and smacking stuff with garden hoses and whatnot. Sound guy, I think, actually makes the real sounds in the sound booth. Yipes. I don't even want to know what the heck he was doing to make that sound. No, 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 sound guy. No, seriously, dude. No, I don't want to know, okay? Really, I don't want to know at all. At all.
But I pooped from there.
I guess that was the time before he caught up with Santa. That deliverance guy really tends to have a pretty good hitting batting San Francisco treat average, as it were. Wow. Speaking of San Francisco and other various places, I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but supposedly the CCP, also known as the Chinese Communist Party, has been setting up phantom shadow quasi operations trying to get Chinese who don't live in China anymore but reside in the United States to repatriate themselves to being good Chi-Com members of their society. And it's come out that these guys are setting themselves up in various areas where there's large Chinese communities. San Francisco being one of them. Potentially, I would truly love to see that these Chinese guys get, sent to a good place, nice and very, very west, but not quite China. I would think probably is a nice spot in the Aleutian Islands and the island chain just off the coast of Alaska. I think that's about as close as you ever should be back to China, just so they can enjoy the view without actually ever being back there yet again. Yeah. Wow. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. This one I have to be very, very cautious in how I express it. But essentially, the Chinese doing what they do doesn't have anything but more than a shadow of the intended function therein of our neighbor to the north. Talking about our fine neighbor to the north, the Great White North. China has nothing on Canada, but this is something I was talking about I think last week. But supposedly the Canadians were attempting to bring back the. Hang on a second here. I gotta find the right one here. I got it, sound guy. I got it. Talking about having to have the. Well, not only that, but they had to have the passport to operate, not even outside and then trying to re-enter, but actually operating inside of Canada and its contiguous 5 or 6 territories, whatever it is. They don't have states; they got territories. But anyway, so this is a post in from Mark H _ 1991, and it was the government intended to bring back Chinese Communist covert viral infection clot shot passports back by now. But thanks to the Freedom Convoy and all freedom fighters, many people have now woken up. As a result, only 20% of Canadians are now, quote unquote, up to date. And the government knows they can't bring back passports if the majority are non-compliant. This one posted up on 12/11, and it's good to hear. This whole thing about the passports operate and all the rest of this happy horse mess. It's bad juju, folks. It really, truly is. This one I think is exceedingly interesting, but of all people, that piece of shit. And I really want to be much more pejorative, but let's just say I've copped a 30-day making comments about Michelle Maybell Obama. But what did she have? Well, she just got caught in the Twitter file dump from Elon Musk. And she directly encouraged a ban on a sitting president. This one coming in from PatriotJournal.com, posted up on December 12. Yeah. Social media words been turned upside down by Elon Musk, exposing Twitter's former bosses. The Twitter Files series and a series of independent reporters have reported that everybody knew what was going on, that Twitter's old leftist executives were censoring conservative users for years. Like that was news to anybody. One of the latest Twitter files reveals top executives doing in the lead up to Trump's permanent Twitter ban. Familiar name came up during a conversation from the Western Journal. Quote, former First Lady Michelle Obama posted a right tweet on January 7, 2021, one day after the Capitol incursion. The message was noted by journalist Michael Schellenberger in the fourth Twitter Files release. Quote from Michelle. But after the events of January 6th, the internal external pressure on Twitter. Oh, sorry, it's Twitter Files release. Sorry. Hang on a second. I got stupid ass pop-ups, man. I hate when these guys pull this crap. It's the absolute worst. Former First Lady Michelle Obama posted a right tweet on January 7, 2021, one day after the Capitol incursion. Message was noted by journalist Michael Schellenberger in the fourth Twitter Files release. But after the events of January 6th, the internal and external pressure on Twitter CEO and Jack Gross at Jack, former First Lady at Michelle Obama, tech journalist at Kara Wisher at ADL, high tech VC at Chris Sacca, and many others publicly call on Twitter to permanently ban Trump, he wrote. Michelle Obama publicly demands Twitter ban sitting President Donald Trump from the platform. Soon after that, the internal conversations generated by Twitter's top officials. The discussion eventually results in the social network banning Trump for good. Internal documents revealed that Twitter's top brass had long hated Donald Trump. No snap. Not over violations in terms of service, but over politics. One executive said in 2017, Trump was a, quote, actual Nazi, unquote. In the aftermath of January 6th, they were looking for a believable excuse to kicking him off the network. But after there was clear evidence that Trump was not connected or responsible to events of January 6th, he even tweeted to his followers to go home peacefully. Still, they cobbled together a flimsy excuse, pushing the mainstream media narrative that Trump was responsible for the events. They claimed his tweets were being used as justification. They shut his account down. YouTube, I am directly quoting a news story. I'm not saying to, for, or against January 6th, okay? Do not give me a 7-day Bravo Sierra ban because I'm quoting somebody else's words, okay? You want another source? It's thepatriotjournal.com/Twitter. Michelle Obama caught in Twitter Files dump. Look it up, okay? I'm quoting them directly. Michelle Obama is implicated in a startling violation of the president's First Amendment rights. She openly demanded the company ban Trump from using Twitter, and the company's top executives happily complied. Jack Dorsey, the then CEO of the company, had the power to stop it, but he was MIA for much of it as it went on. YouTube, I'm quoting the source there, okay? I am not stating this as my own opinion, left, right, center, or anywhere in between. I'm quoting a news story. Oh no, Patriot Fever. As long as he ain't polishing rocket to Rocket Man. It's my little shiny rocket. Wow. That's what I find kind of damn interesting. This might be one of these run up to the next election phase of senators saying, please don't throw me out. Just give me one second here. I got Twitter juice, which is the Tigger alternative to Twitter juice. Let's see. 3 Democrats just abandoned the Democrats. The donkey party could be splitting apart at the seams. This one coming also from patriotjournal.com. Democrats have denied it looks like the writing on the wall. For years, been heard about the moderate liberals and radical left have been fighting within the party. Nancy Pelosi was able to keep it under wraps, but the old gal stepping down after the election. It looks like they can't keep this rift hidden much longer. Recent news has exposed the party's weakness. Democrats could be heading for a major decline because 3 Democrats turned on the party. This could be the beginning of the end. From Fox News. From all levels of government, local, state, and federal, elected officials, once labeled Democrats, announced the recent midterm elections. They could be switching parties or becoming independent voices in their respective roles. Sinema isn't the only elected leader who recently made the decision to ditch the Democrat Party. Okay, let's just put this in perspective. Sinema, she's a freaking fruitcake, okay? She's all over the map. She's not a libertarian. She's not a Democrat. She's not a socialist. She's not a progressive. She's just kind of a, where is this vote going to take me next kind of a person, okay? I am not impressed with her in the slightest, other than the fact that, oh yeah, sometimes she really does stuff to trip up the Democrat Party, which I find funny. She cannot be depended on as a conservative voice. She can't be depended on as an independent. She can't be depended on as a possible progressive. She is a flipping lunatic. Let's just get that out the way in my own personal statement of Kirsten Sinema. She is a freaking nut job. So she basically bailed on the Democrat Party, became an independent. Last week, New York City Councilman Ari Kagan, who was elected to the council in 2021 as a Democrat, announced to be exiting the party to become a Republican. In West Virginia, State Senator Glenn Jeffries announced earlier this month he's foregoing his affiliation with the party to join the GOP. Washington was rocked last week when Senator Sinema announced that she was leaving the Democrat Party. She blasted Democrats for being partisan and radicalized. She will now be an independent, bucking the demands of Schumer and the left. Yes, but who's she going to caucus with? Like, you have Bernie Sanders. What's Bernie Sanders doing? Oh, we have to all caucus carefully because we have to be a strident voice against the Republicans. It's very easy to do. I mean, you just have to talk to you got a mouthful of cotton balls. Anyway, he caucuses with the Democrats. There's another independent in the Senate. He caucuses with the Democrats. The independents are not libertarians. They are not Democrats. They're not Republicans. They're a bunch a light or form or communist branch therein of the Democrat Party. They just can't be completely honest about it because people are going to call them what they are and boot their asses out the bloody damn door. Michelle's member. Oh no! Patriot Fever. Michelle's quote unquote membership in the Twitter files got caught. Oh my. Yeah, I think she actually closed the file cabinet on it once. But she wasn't the only Democrat to recently ditch the party. Ari Kagan, a New York councilman, jumped ship to become a Republican. He blamed New York's rising crime on the Democrat leadership and refused to do anything about it. And a West Virginia Senator, Glenn Jeffries, revealed he'd also be leaving the Democrats to become Republican. These major moves are a troubling sign to the left, and more could be on the way. Only if they're trying to save their asses. Okay, let's be completely honest here. The Democrat Party is gone so stridently hardcore left. They become socialist, if not like communist, if not just blatantly quote unquote progressive, which is a catch-all phrase for saying we're communists, but we really truly don't want to admit it. Yuck. Oh, absolutely. Patriot Fever says no Bernie impressions complete without a certain member insertion into a 220 outlet to get the Bernie hair. Where you're just kind of going, it's like the whacked out college professor that got caught in a lightning bolt. This one I find completely bloody awesome. It's being made public item. Yeah, this one coming from Amaland.com. Calculated destruction of the Gunwalker evidence shows the ATF is covering up the ongoing stuff that they've been doing. Yeah. Yesterday, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, also known as BAT F Troop, notified that it intends to destroy the firearms associated with the botched Operation Fast and Furious. Representative Jim Jordan, ranking member of the House Committee on the Judiciary, wrote the ATF Director Stephen Deitenbach on December 6th, quote, I strongly urge you to reconsider this decision and request you preserve this evidence. Okay, when the ATF knows they got their pants down and something hanging out and it's about to get slapped, what do? Yeah, lie, covert, and try to hide the evidence to show just how blatantly illegal the way that they do things is. I am not impressed by them at all. And truthfully, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms should be dissembled and made part of the FBI after the FBI has had a major house cleaning, and they need to be a booted member of the government structure. I truly, absolutely have nothing but hate in my heart for this piece of, how do I say this without saying this? Utter, oh, no, sound guy. No, this guy is a, you know what? I'm just going to play it once. So I'm going to give you guys plenty of notice that, you know, if you want to get grandma out the room, the kids are out, and turn down the radio, put it on the headphones or something, I'm going to call it for what it is. And I got this one, sound guy. Former crypto billionaire and FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, also known as that...
You cock-juggling thunder cunt!
That asshole has been arrested in Bahamas after U.S. authorities filed criminal charges against him. General Ryan Pinder of the Bahamian authorities told NBC News that Bankman-Fried had been arrested following, quote, unspecified criminal charges, bravo, Sierra, from U.S. authorities who are likely to, quote, request his extradition. They're going to request his extradition. The Bahamians are going to be like, you know what, dude, just take this pile of crap. We just want to get this piece of smoldering shit out of here. Request his extradition. Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Davis said in a statement that his government has shared interest in the United States in bringing the FTX founder to justice. Okay, so let's just be real honest and simple here. I'm going to drop that story off and just relegate that one to the side. And I'll tell you my feelings on and my knowledge therein of FTX. FTX was a professionally run Ponzi scheme to garner scads of cash, make it look like it was doing something other than a Ponzi scheme, while taking that money and giving it over to Democrats. Democrats who then basically took that cash and should they have returned it? Well, let's find out. Should they have returned it? Democrats, FTX not returning donations. Let's see. Oh, so FTX bankruptcy means $73 million in political donations are at risk of being clawed back. And that's from Bloomberg. I'm not going to open Bloomberg. Democrats seek to return more than $2 million from Bankman-Fried. Plan to return over $1 million. That's $3 million out of $72 million. I heard that at least there was 12 Democrats who got scads of cash off of Bankman-Fried who don't plan to give it back. Yeah. Going on now, and this is going to be one of those. I gotta be really careful on how I posit this one. This one coming in patron alerts, but we're gonna be speaking about that guy we all know and love, President. That's right. So we're talking about steaming piles of. Yeah. Okay, it looks like Joe is losing his collective. It could be more than just that sound guy. He could be losing a whole bunch of. Okay, well, supposedly, Joe Biden is now walking around. He's getting snarky. He's getting aggressive. He's getting angry. And at one point, he actually looked at one of the staffers like, "You think I don't know how blanking old I am?" With an F-bomb involved on that one. So, in this one, like I said, it's coming patron alerts. Looks like Biden, once again, is experiencing anger issues caused by dementia. So, essentially what happens is, when people have dementia, it's unsteadiness, confusion, verbal gaffes. But the other thing, too, is also, they're like, "I know who I am. I'm assured of my identity. Don't you blanking know who I am?" And it's like their own way of like centering themselves to say, I still know who I am. I know how everything works in this world. I'm good. I'm good. Okay. I'm good. I got it. I'm fine. I'm fine. All right. No, there's nothing going on upstairs. Oh. No. So anyway, it could be said that Joe Kaka is losing more than a little bit of You know what? I'm gonna allow that. Yeah, he could be losing monkey feces. All right, so it could be said that he's completely losing his just large stinky piles of Would you loop it or something? All right, so anyway, they are not happy. It's like they basically say that a whole bunch of people now worried about his mental health, and including 82% of Republicans, 56% of Democrats, and 39% of Democrats. asked the same question in the most recent online poll. 1,376 adults across the country, taken from October 5 to 7, with a margin of error of 2.8 percentage points. This time, the overall number grew to 64%, or nearly 2/3 of the voters think dude is jacked. And this is the guy riding around with the football, able to go boop, boop, and push the button and make a big splash. Yeah. You guys heard about this one or not? This one coming in from patriotalerts.com. And I find this kind of very interesting on how they're doing this. Excuse me 1 second here. Need some more Tigger juice. I find this very interesting, though. There's some stuff that the federal government actually does see stridently as potentially a threat, and they don't allow the Chinese to just gobble up and
Oh no, that's not true.
Are you done? I don't know where he was going with that one, folks. Are you done? Are you done? Jeez. Anyway, so this one coming in Patriot Alerts. Senate unanimously passes a bill to ban TikTok from all government devices. Gee, could you maybe think about like the infrastructure of all the, like the telephonic stuff and like all the information storage devices and oh yeah, potentially maybe all the information going to and from mainland China on the internet. Would you ever think of like, maybe like censoring some of that so the Chinese don't have like an open door to just grab all this stuff? Nah, you're just worried about them poking around in government facilities. Even though I can't begin to tell you how many times these guys have just completely yeah, and basically just let them do everything they want to. So now they're like, we're going to make a big public face to say we're going to lock out TikTok from all government devices. Yeah, poop splat. U.S. Senate on Wednesday voted unanimously to pass legislation to ban the use of video sharing app TikTok on government phones and devices amid growing concerns that the app poses a cybersecurity risk and a threat to national security. Dude, the door is closed. No, that door is not closed, dude. That door is not closed. In fact, it could be said that they pulled that one right out there. Anyway, so the No TikTok on Government Devices Act. No TikTok on government devices, not quack. Anyway, so basically the federal government is now trying to lock out TikTok from all government devices.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Anyway, introduced by Senator Josh Hawley, or Republican Missouri, I think, on April 2021, and essentially is follow-up in steps taken by the State Department, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, and the Transportation Security Administration to ban the video application be used on all federal government devices. There's still workarounds. I don't care what they say. If you basically get a VPN and you have the right kind of attitude and you can get in there and TikTok, not quick quack, TikTok. All right. The bill does include exceptions for law enforcement activities, national security interests, and security researchers in some circumstances. Although it passed the Senate unanimously on Wednesday, Hawley's bill still need to be passed by the House and signed into law by President Joe Kaka. Mobile phone can be seen displaying the logos for Chinese apps WeChat and TikTok in front of a monitor showing the flag United States and China internet page in Beijing on September 2022, 2020. Yeah. TikTok is a Trojan horse for the Chinese Communist Party. Similar bills first introduced on March 2020, unanimously passed the Senate in August 2020, but stalled in the House. It was subsequently introduced in April 22 by Senators Hawley, Rick Scott, and Rubio and Cotton, and unanimously passed the Senate's Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. Senator Hollier, a Republican, confirmed on Twitter that lawmakers had voted unanimously to pass the latest bill. TikTok is the Trojan horse of the Chinese Communist Party. It's a major security risk to the United States, and until forced to sever ties with China completely, there is no place for government devices, Hawley said in the statement. Sorry. States across the U.S. are banning TikTok on government devices. It's time for Joe Kaka and the Democrats to help do the same. Yeah, but will they do that? Do they really, really ever, do these things in like the government interest, or is it simply trying to save their ass when they're so worried about the That's a different kind of viral infection. That's that's the one where basically it just it just gets in there and it gets in there. It gets in there. Let's see here. What else is going on with this story? Oh, TikTok is a Beijing-owned ByteDance, which is linked to the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, here's the stupidest damn thing anybody ever could possibly say. Oh, it's linked to Beijing as a Chinese Communist Party operated entity. Here's the dirty little secret. If you have any business in China, any business, you have to give them a back door, you have to give them access, and you have to allow the Chinese government to physically be able to go in, snoop around, and basically do those things in which they say they got to do because, they just want to get there and cuck things up. Or they want to be able to snoop in there and, I don't know about clot shot, but they want to get in there and, okay, because they just want to get in there and just do their thing. Okay? Thanks a cat meow have to do. Anyway. U.S. officials have repeatedly raised concerns that the app poses national security risks with data on users in the U.S. potentially falling into the hands of the CCP. Okay, here's the thing. I don't have TikTok on my phone. I don't have TikTok on my computer. And usually anytime I ever do anything on TikTok, it's somebody basically sent me a link and I'll watch a video. I don't log in. I do not have an account. And me basically following it off a Facebook link says, oh, yeah, I'm on Facebook. If you want to look me up on Facebook, have a blast. None of my major personal information is the same thing as what it actually is in real life. Oh, oops. Yeah, like putting your real birthday on there. Don't do that. Putting a phone number on there. Well, that's easy to say. I don't know this person. Boop. Knock them off, and you don't have to worry about talking to them anymore. And that's how that one works. So essentially, by looking at this stuff as it is for what it's worth, if you're on TikTok, you are giving them all of your shit. Scroll. Oh, I'm in the order room here. Joe's had them to lose. The dude needs to do a whole show in Twitter files like the old stomach destruction testing series. Oh, man. Yeah, well, actually, believe it or not, I still pretty much have like a room full of MREs, and you probably should eat them sooner rather than later because even the newest ones are probably like early 80s. Oh, man. So, like, remember I was talking about that thing about, like, they're not giving the money back? Yeah, 16 Democrats refused to give back FTX donations because they failed crypto. Oh, it's just bad, man. It's just bad all the way around. I do think this is absolutely one of those things that's going to make me either get, a 1 week or potentially something else. But, man, you want to talk about how they do things in San Francisco. Oh, yeah. But, if you're going to go there, jeez. If there's anything that can be claimed to be such an amazingly public snap, it is the switch of the CEO and the lightening of their stance now by Disney Corporation. However, Coming from Breitbart.com, one of my most beloved news places ever. I got to say, this one is absolutely hilarious. Anytime you suck up to the left, it's not enough. Anytime you suck up to the left to make yourself completely beholden to them, it's not enough. Anytime that you say, I'm going to do everything possible to further your cause to the left, it's never, ever enough. Remy's getting into stuff. Coming in from Breitbart.com, Disney is not gay enough for GLAAD and receives, quote unquote, the insufficient mark in the annual LGBTQ inclusivity report card. Folks, I cannot tell you just how much this makes me laugh my ass off.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Starting off, in the last year alone, Walt Disney Corporation or corporate company fought law over the anti-grooming parental rights and education law, created multiple transgender characters for its children's shows, put gay characters in the center of a big budget movie, and even launched an LGBTQ themed apparel line. But still, Disney isn't gay enough for the folks at GLAAD. On Thursday, GLAAD gave Disney an insufficient mark in the annual LGBTQ inclusivity report card, saying the company's efforts have been lacking despite progress in recent years. The company slammed Disney for donating $25,000 to, quote, anti-LGBTQ, end quote, politicians, without noting that Disney historically donated to politicians across the political spectrum. There's a Twitter release from @GLAAD. Today, GLAAD released its 10th Studio Responsibility Index. This year counted the trans character in a major studio film for the first time in 5 years. Also noted decreases in the racial diversity of LGBTQ characters and LGBTQ character screen time. Read now. Disney wasn't alone in GLAAD's annual act of Hollywood chastisement. All of the studios reviewed this year received bad marks, but the worst grades handed out to Paramount and Lionsgate. Both studios received failing marks for not featuring singularly identifiable LGBTQ character in any of the films that released in 2021. Okay, let's be completely freaking honest here. Of the homosexual community in public at large, let's just say they're 2 to 3%. Maybe, let's just be generic, 5%. So, if you release 100 movies over the course of the year, what's 5% of 100? If you release 5 movies that are really strongly LGBTQ, you've done them justice, okay? You've given them exactly the equivalent therein of their population in the United States and recognized it courageously. You've done enough. However, no, you haven't done enough for these guys, because with Democrats, liberals, and socialists and communists, it is never, ever enough. Once you knuckle under these guys, you have opened the door, the camel's nose is under the tent, and they are not going to stop doing what they're doing. You have to run the court with these guys and say in every way, shape, and form, sorry, I'm not like that. And if you do want something like that, I suggest you talk to groups of your own fellows and make stuff and put it out there. And oh yeah, if you put something out there and it fails spectacularly because nobody really wants to see it, get a clue. Nobody really wants to see it because A, they don't care. B, it's not their lifestyle. C, it's not disingenuous for them to say, sorry, I'm just not into that. Warner Brothers received the second lowest grade of poor, with GLAAD noting that the studio continues to work with Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, whom the group inaccurately described as an anti-trans activist. Harry Potter is not anti-trans. It's just merely a story in fiction. And oh yeah, guess what? Considering it's fiction, you don't need to bring a gay character into every single blanket story, okay? The studios continue to support validations of particularly dangerous or responsible. GLAAD said in the report, GLAAD gave failing marks to Disney's big screen releases using the new Vito Russo test, a gay version of the feminist Bechdel test. Steven Spielberg's West Side Story failed the test even though it features female to male transgender character, as well as Oscar winner Ariana DeBose, who is openly lesbian. Ridley Scott's The Last Duel also failed the test, even though the movie's a medieval period piece. Yeah, because homosexuals are so popular back in, the good old dark days. Yeah. But GLAAD praised Disney megaflop Strange World for featuring a gay teen protagonist. The animated feature was a box office bust, grossing just $31 million domestically on a budget of about $170 million. Having a gay protagonist of a family film is a huge step in the right direction for the genre, an example I'd like to see more studios follow. GLAAD, Bubby, Buddy, Chum, Pal, China, Choyo, whatever you wish to call yourselves, if it's not going to make them money and the public's not going to go out and see it, they're not going to make it. Okay? Sorry. So go ahead and take that nice little leftist march. Yeah, take that nice little leftist march and keep going like California ways. Big, why don't you guys have movie festivals of your own movies in your own neighborhoods, in your own areas, or in your own places where people would probably want to see your stuff in your own groups? I got bad news for you, though. Let's just do a slight little math thing here, okay? Let's just say calculator size of device type things here. Let me just drop down my brightness here. Let's just say calculator here, okay? Let's just say population. Oh, actually, that's the face you wanted to see. The calculator. A little too bright still. Hang on. Okay, this camera is really overcompensating. Okay, let's just say, Mr. Calculator here. Population of the United States, 330 million. Okay, let's just be generous there. Right? 330 million, right? Okay, times, let's remember all our class, folks. Class. So times 0.05, which would be 5% of 33 million people, equals not even 17 million people. Okay, so let's just do the math on this one. 16.5 million people divided by 50. Divided by 50 equals a third of a million people per state. And that's being generous because there's some states in the union that don't have a several million person population. Like you go out west, some of them have a couple 100,000. Say like Alaska's only 600,000. Idaho is like not the same number, maybe a little bit more than some of the Californians are bailing out and going that way. So we just did the math. And you've seen if there is 5% of the population, that's being generous because I've heard, generically, they say the gay population in the United States is about 3%. But let's just be just genuinely a little bit charitable here and say, okay, there's more than that. There's more than that. We're going to say there's 5% of the population is homosexual, trans, gay, switch hitter, whatever you wish to call them, call what you will. Somebody other than, same-sex preferential or quirkiness they're in, they're choosing to go in one way or the other, right? I'm not going to put any kind of labels on anybody or anything along those lines. I'm simply just saying anybody other than strident binaries, male, female, right? Got them. All right. Now, basically, 330,000 per state, that won't make a blockbuster. Because of that 330,000, how many people are actually going to go out and see the movie? Yeah. Continuing on. As Breitbart reported, GLAAD recently threatened the Great American Family Channel with an advertiser boycott over actress Cameron Bure's recent comment that the channel will focus on, quote, traditional marriage instead of gay couples in its Christmas programming. I got really, really bad news for you, GLAAD. First off, if it's traditional family marriage type stuff, you're not going to be watching it anyway. And second off, if you say something effective, you're going to have an advertiser boycott. Potentially, that's not going to work out for you because remember that time when you basically said, oh, let's all boycott Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A ran like gangbusters because everybody was like, you know what? I don't care who they think should basically be married to whom, and also because they're fairly religious. That's their own private thing, and they don't make it a public knowledge thing to say, "Oh, we're against this, we're for that." Basically what they're saying is we basically support religious organizations, and add the behind the scenes stuff. They're probably still doing that, but they don't do it as publicly anymore. But during the time when the gay community was like, "We need to step on Chick-fil-A," Thor's hammer, it didn't work. The only thing that had happened then was Chick-fil-A got so much busier, and they had so much more business from people going, "You know what? I don't like what you're doing. I don't care if, gay, straight, or otherwise. I don't like what you're doing. That's un-American, and it shouldn't be anything that's done in this country because there is such a thing as freedom of choice, freedom of association, and oh yeah, if you choose not to be with a bunch of gay guys and you want to be with a bunch of straight guys, or you want to watch a bunch of straight stuff, that isn't racist. That isn't sexist. That isn't homophobic. That's simply saying I choose to be with these guys instead of just the whole on growth of everybody else that could be of any way, shape, and form. But I'll tell you something else. The religious guys aren't going, "Oh, yeah, he's gay. I'm going to have to go to church and pray about that one. And I'm never going to associate with a gay person ever, ever again." Sorry, that's not how Christians tick. But also, it's a freedom of association thing. And I thought it was blanking hilarious when some obviously straight guy pretended to be gay and went to a Muslim community and was like, "Yeah, I'd like to get a wedding cake." And the guy's like, "Sure, what would you like on your wedding cake?" And he goes, "Well, I want it like this." And he turned around a piece of paper and put it down. And it was male, basically a homosexual wedding cake. And the guy goes, "I'm sorry, I don't bake those kind of cakes here. Go talk to the guy down the street." And literally the guy got ran around from store to store. Every single place he went to, they were like, "I'm sorry, we don't bake that kind of cake here. Please go to the other store down the street. They might be able to help you." And literally the guy got run around the entire town of a very Muslim area. I think of Detroit or something like that, but Dearborn or something along those lines, where he got literally run around the place. And they're all like, "Dude, we ain't making your cake because we don't do that type of stuff." Patriot Fever, clearly mad and unsatisfied lesbian. Wow. Whoa. But anyway, you know what? Personally, I don't care who you do. And I've said this generically forever. I'm basically libertarian, constitutionalist, conservative. I don't care who you do. I don't care who you're with. I really don't care who you do and who you're with while you're doing it. Big thing is, I don't want to pay for it, okay? I don't want to be responsible for your bad activities, your stupid things that you do to yourself, or those things that you do to society, making me financially responsible. I don't want it, okay? But I do think it's hilarious when, of all things, the most obviously blatantly gay-oriented organization on the planet is not gay enough for GLAAD. And it can only be fixed by
Death!
yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that can fix it properly.
Come on, squeal.
But I pooped from there.
Okay, I don't even know where sound guy was going with that one, but yipes. Yeah, that was definitely.
Death! By Snoo Snoo!
That was not snoo snoo. That was wee. That was definitely. Yeah, that was not snoo snoo. That was not snoo snoo. This one I found kind of. He's not even schadenfreude. It's just sad. And I'm thinking possibly this guy was a victim of, well, I think he was definitely a victim of the. Yeah, I think that's what happened here. I think dude was a victim of it. Coming from truthpress.com, Canada's health director who led Canada's response team to the and the rollout dies. the Director of Parliamentary Affairs in Health Canada, who oversaw the country's response to and rollout of the passed away unexpectedly at the age of 35. Adam Exton, a longtime Liberal Party organizer, died suddenly on December 9, according to his family. Quote, it is with great sadness the family of Adam Exton announces his passing on December 9, 2022 at the age of 35 in Ottawa, Ontario. The much-loved son of Wendy Exton, brother of Bradley Exton, the son of Alan Exton. He will be deeply missed by his loving girlfriend, Risha, as well as his many cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandmother, Bette Reedman. The obituary reads, as a young person, Adam became actively involved in politics and had a passion for public service, volunteered for the community in 2012, won the Ontario Young Liberal Volunteer of the Year Award, received a degree in political science from the University of Toronto, spent many years working various levels of government, eventually working to the position of Director of Parliamentary Affairs in Health Canada. I'm sure dude got every single and all of the boosters. He played a role in so many important milestones, including getting our government elected in 2015. That would be Trudeau. Supporting ministers of health Jane Philpott and Jeanette Patapas Taylor to get big things done like cannabis legalization and launching a new Canada food guide. Yeah. Despite the ways he contributed, he struggled too, like others maybe right now. The was traumatizing for so many. So many things need to change so people living with poor mental health and problematic substance abuse can get effective care. So he's working both sides of the equation. He legalizes weed, but yet he's trying to do like drug treatment stuff. So basically you're saying trade the weed for the smack, or trade the smack for the weed. Interesting. But instead he was going out and getting every single yeah, and it probably was not the best thing for him to be going out and getting yeah, well he got the yeah. So and of course they had this, kind of whole squishy kind of, oh, this, that, and the other thing, family related, blah, blah, blah. So this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 whatever. Dude was 35 when he kicked. That says there was something outside that potentially got to him, and it was not conceivably the oh no, because you're safe. You've had every single one of the you're protected. You can't get the Russ. Yeah, you're safe because that well is just gonna smack it down. Did you get them all, sound guy? I think he got them all. No, he's still. Oh no, you put it in the room. No. You mentioned. Oh, you had to mention it.
Come on, squeal. You sick little monkey.
Okay, I think he just ran through the entire catalog of Monkey Pops. What a bunch of... Okay, I think we're safe. We have no more Monkey Pops. I think he ran through the entire catalog. I find this to be utterly freaking disgusting. Coming up from truthpress.com, again, Maricopa County. You've heard it, you know it, you love it. Oh, yeah, Maricopa County. How cool is that? It ain't. Arizona election officials could not reconcile 15K in vote disparity. And I guarantee you it was all for Republicans. Ugh. Patriot Fever. I ain't sure which one got the happy ending. Okay, I'm sure the monkey wasn't happy about it either. It really is a pile of monkey feces, okay? Stop. Recently disclosed internal communications between the top election officials in Arizona's Maricopa County in the immediate aftermath of Election Day revealed they struggled to reconcile a discrepancy of almost 16,000 in outstanding ballot totals. The governor's race in Arizona was decided by a margin of just over 17,000 votes. Man, you want to talk about a blazing pile of I was going to say something else, sound guy. Yeah, I was going to say a blazing pile of caca. Oh, man. Okay, maybe not exactly appropriate to, covet the Joe Caca sound effect, but this one's worthy. Maricopa County was plagued with numerous issues with ballot machines at the time of the vote centers on Election Day, resulting in delays and long lines. Possibly only for the Republicans? Yeah. Prior to the Maricopa County press conference with the Board of Supervisors Chair Bill Gates and Recorder Stephen Richter on November 10, Richter sent an email to Elections Director Scott Jarrett, Gates, and others about a significant discrepancy between the county's estimated remaining ballot totals and the number reported by the Secretary of the state's office. Arizona Secretary of State Katie Hobbs was also a Democratic nominee for governor in November 8 election. She should have abnegated herself and removed herself from that conclusion. Quote, unable to concurrently reconcile SOS listing with our estimates from yesterday, Richter wrote, showing the Maricopa County estimated having 392,000 ballots left to be counted, while the Secretary of State's website said there was 407,664 ballots left. So there's a 15,000 difference somewhere, Richter said, although the discrepancy was cited as closer to 16,000. The recorder's office did not provide comment on the ballot discrepancy by the publication deadline. The Richter email was among the communications obtained via a public records request submitted by the American First Legal Foundation. The email is found on page 9 in the records below, and there's a PDF you can click on. In the email forwarded by Jared, the Chief of Staff for Board of Supervisor, Vice Chairman Clint Hickman, a poll worker said at the vote center that the ballot tabulators worked 75% of the time, as approximately 400 of 1,600 in-person votes were misreads and put in slot 3. Ballots were put in the tabulator several times to get accepted. The poll worker reported ballots were flipped, put in backwards, flipped again. They might be accepted. The poll worker further reported that a voter who recently moved between cities within the state received a ballot for only federal elections, not the state elections. Totally unacceptable, the poll worker commented. These errors need to be resolved, another poll worker concluded. Email from the poll workers on page 6 of the file embedded above. The Maricopa County Board of Supervisors voted to certify its election November 28 after listening to a flood of complaints from voters regarding issues with experiences trying to vote. Mojave County certified its election, quote unquote, under duress after being threatened with possible felony charges by the Secretary of State Hobbs' office. Cochise County chose not to certify until a judge ordered them to, followed by a lawsuit against them, followed by the Secretary of State's office. According to the lawsuit filed by the GOP gubernatorial nominee, Carrie Lake, challenged the administration of the 2022 election in Maricopa County. Poll found that 58.6% of Republican voters in the county reported having issues trying to cast a ballot on election day, compared to only 15.5% of Democrat voters. Thor's hammer. This is the kind of Bravo Sierra that happens in third world countries, not in this United States. Now, one of the most positive ways I've ever seen an election done was actually in Afghanistan, believe it or not. You see a woman standing there and her thumb is purple. So literally what they do is they vote. And then after they vote, they dip their thumb in a purple inkwell to say, I voted. Also, I voted. You can't make me vote again. This stuff needs to get fixed, folks. It's just all there is to it. When you start having these kind of games being played and this kind of gamesmanship and all this just happy horse mess where these guys are playing these political games, and you start having, like, you know, the cities that are being way oversampled for the amount of people that they're in, and of course, you know, the dead people voting, and of course, you know, the voting season as opposed to voting day. Situations like this could be handled very simply by simply having one election day, only one. So truthfully, what you could say in any way, shape, and form is you don't have a voting season. You have a federal holiday of a voting day. That day is the only day where you can vote. The only place you can vote is actually in person. And if you don't choose to do that, or if you have another way and shape and form of you have something going on where you literally cannot get to the polling place, yeah, you're given some special ability, like, you know, military overseas, or if you're handicapped, or even some other means doing something along the lines of like blockchain. Blockchain now is pretty damn secure, and you can trace it all the way through all its various steps to know who did, who didn't, and where it went from, where it went to, and who was involved. So literally all you really need to do is simply have a phone set up in such a way that the phone is your election device. Boop, works once. Can't fake it. Try to do it again, it's locked out. Or you try to do it again, and you have a page pop up that says, hey man, if you do this and you try to do this, it is a felony. Do you wish to proceed? That's how you handle that. You start catching the guys in the process of doing this stuff, you put their asses under the jail. You keep them honest. I mean, that's about the easiest way to do this. You know, there's only one way to stop voting fraud and all these other various things is you have to keep the bad guys honest by catching them in the process, putting them under the jail, and making them stop doing for what they're doing, because they know if they do this, it will cost them personally, dearly, harshly. And you don't make it something where, oh yeah, well, you know, you get out for X amount of years for good behavior. Dude, if you're in jail, you should have had good behavior before you went in jail. Positively, absolutely disgusting where we are nowadays with the gamesmanship on election taking place, and obviously those guys playing games to do the things that they think that they can do and get away with. It's disgusting, and it really needs to stop. We need to find a way to make these things completely on the up and up, so everybody has a true, good, and fair election, and not some game where basically you oversample a certain area and then you throw the votes out of the other guys. You know, I mean, the whole thing about, like, you know, when Rush Limbaugh did Operation Chaos, that was absolutely hilarious. And I think if that actually did happen again, well, the Republicans wouldn't like it much, but you actually would probably have more of an honest election result, because you'd have everybody voting Democrat for the other guy, and the Democrats would go, oh, snap, what the heck just happened here? And I think that would be a turnabout of fair play. That's why I'm pretty much registered as a Democrat, so I can screw with them twice. All right, folks, on that note, I think I'm going to break up on this one. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Good stuff like that there. And, well, you get a gold star for attendance. Those people who are watching after the fact, I don't blame you. You know, you got a lot of stuff going on, Christmas stuff and all that other fun fall. But I will catch you guys next time. Have a good Christmas. Good stuff like that there. See you previous to New Year's. On New Year's, I am doing a gig, so I will be working at the Perryville Casino, working with the band I work with, doing that Fun Times Overnight thing at a casino. How's it going to work? I don't know. But I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one, and I'll see you then. And eat good, keep thundering as always, you know what, you love it. And I will see you guys next week. See you guys. Merry Christmas. See ya. British.